Vertex Community Bank Studios, it's Paul Gallant. Join the conversation by dialing or texting 713-780-3776.
A text on the most interactive sports talk show in Houston. The Browns spanked the Texans last year. Right you are. That was a very frustrating game because it was Deshaun Watson's first game back, and he played like crap. But the Texans still lost. And then after the game, I was mad, and still am a little bit mad, that I wasn't allowed to ask a question of Deshaun Watson because I wanted to ask him if he still stood on his innocence because he had promised to tell us his side of the story at some point in the future, which, of course, he's never actually going to do. Just say you'll talk about something later and then never actually do it and just hope that nobody's ever going to ask for it. Because today, in the world of sports journalism, which doesn't really exist anymore, generally no one's going to be allowed to actually ask that toughie of a question. But you're right, they did lose rather convincingly to the Browns last year. And now you're hoping that Case Keenum's got his old 2014 magic against Joe Flacco. What a weird matchup. What a weird... the more I talk about it, it's maybe not the best way to spend your Christmas Eve at NRG Stadium.
Hey, the Titans also spanked the Texans last year.
That's true.
See how that worked out.
Script reversed, Sean.
Yeah,
Hayes.
with Case Keenum. I'm not even using a CJ Stroud start.
Yeah.
For all the teams that whooped the Texans last year.
Right.
Every team in the league whooped them last year.
Every, yeah. Well, hey, they covered the spread against the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Chiefs.
They beat the Colts. So
true. So maybe we should have taken a look at those games where they covered the spread and thought to ourselves, yeah, 8 wins is possible, 9 wins is possible, 10 wins is possible.
The signs were there.
The signs were there.
You just had to know what to look for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Covering the spread against Dallas last year.
That was big, though, Sean. That was big. Covering the spread against the Eagles. It was 2 touchdowns. They covered it. They did cover it. Did anyone watch that game because the World Series was on at the same time? No, but hey, they covered the spread while that World Series game was going on.
Probably the lowest rated Thursday night football game of all time.
Definitely, yeah, because it was. I mean, I think the Eagles fans would have watched the Eagles over the Phillies. Like there is definitely a hierarchy in Philadelphia. And I know, like growing up, if it was a Patriots and a Red Sox game, I think in 2004 I would have picked the Patriots over the Red Sox in the playoffs in 2004.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, no one cares about that. Oh. I do think, as we talk about predictions, I just want to say for a quick moment, it's weird that people are so into the idea of being right on predictions in sports media. Am I wrong? Like, there's so many people that have a great deal of pride in remembering the times they were right, but they'll never tell you about the times that they were wrong. It's one of the reasons I don't really do predictions anymore because I have no control over it. It's one of the reasons I don't really, unless I'm doing it with mybookie.ag, promo code BET975 for your deposit bonus of up to $1,000. It's one of the reasons I get nervous when I gamble because I don't control what's going on. But I saw a lot of people yesterday like patting themselves on the back for saying like, yeah, I thought the Texans would be a 8, 9, 10 win team. And I know I said the Texans would be a 10 win team, but that was a guess. I don't think I had anything behind it. I was like, oh, the vibes are great. So I'm not patting myself on the back for that correct prediction. Does that make me different? Am I born different? Am I built different? Maybe.
Thank you, Paul. Thanks.
Thank you.
For not doing a victory lap. But by saying you're not doing a victory lap, you are kind of reminding us that you were right.
This is why I get paid the big bucks.
Okay. So you're not like everyone else.
I'm not like everyone else. You know who else isn't like everyone else, Sean Mapes? Owners of professional sports teams. Guys, it's time for another episode of something that we like to call Lick the Boot.
Can Astros owner Jim Crane do any wrong? Of course not!
We're really proud of the rings. I'm never satisfied.
Let us all gather round and lick the boot of the greatest owner in Houston sports by making fun of other bad owners.
I hope you washed your ass this morning. It's about to be kissed.
Hang on, though. Hang on. I'm not about to lick Jim Crane's boot. I'm not. I'm about to lick the boot. Oh, wait, I don't know if I can lick this boot. I feel like if I lick this boot, it might get a little problematic. Houston radio host canceled for saying that he would lick this person's boot. Yeah, I get it. But I do want to give flowers. How about that? That's appropriate. To the wife of Houston Texans owner Cal McNair. The one and only Hannah McNair. Our guy, Big Sarge Sports, caught up with those two this week and asked them how much it meant for the Texans to beat the Titans wearing those Oilers colors.
I mean to put you on the spot, but in Tennessee, you got the win. Was it, a little bit special knowing that they were wearing those old colors?
I think Coach said it doesn't matter. The uniform, we put on as our uniform, and we're going to go play whoever's there. And we're excited for any win. And that, to win on the road with a lot of our teammates missing was really special for the team coming together. And we're glad to bring that win home to Houston.
Hey, what matters to our fans matters to us. And to get that W, it matters.
Hell yeah, Hannah. Cal, that was a weak-ass answer. And thank God Hannah was there to pick up the mic and say, yeah, what matters to our fans matters to us. That is a perfect answer, number one. And number two, I think you could make an argument that the McNair family is the best ownership group among the three major Houston professional sports teams. I know. It's jarring to hear something like that. But think about it. First off, the Astros look like they're dealing with some limitations as far as payroll going forward. It was a rather underwhelming season this past year. They had a losing record at home. They lost in the playoffs to the Rangers. Again, we have high expectations for the Astros, and they did make it to the first round of the playoffs, the American League Championship Series. That's what we consider the first round of the playoffs here in Houston. But now all of a sudden you're reading all these stories about how they might have a little bit less money to work with since the new TV deal happened for Space City Home Network and Time Warner dipped out. So you look at the Astros and you wonder if they're going to be able to maintain this current level. The Rockets just built or broke ground or are about to unveil, I'm not sure which, a brand new practice facility that's got a helicopter pad. So they're clearly spending some money. They're trending in the right direction. But then you hear Hannah McNair saying, I care about what Houston fans care about. How about this article by Albert Breer in the Monday Morning Quarterback? Or whatever the hell it is. I don't know. Sports Illustrated's website's a effing mess, by the way. Just pop-ups.
Albert Breer GBT here to... Yeah, something like that, Sean. I think it's the Monday Morning Quarterback at Sports Illustrated, because I think he took that over from Peter King, who's now at Football Morning in America, whatever that is. They're very long columns, and it just gives like a bunch of NFL tidbits. To their credit, I mean, they are connected. Sorry, I'm dumping on this article. Let me get back. Here is the title of Albert Breer's article. NFL Week 15 takeaways. The Texans are building a powerhouse. It starts mentioning a quote by Texans starting quarterback on Christmas Eve, Case Keenum, who told Aditi Kinkhabwala that he sees Houston as a top to bottom one of the best teams in the league. Whoa. Powerhouse? He continued in this interview that he did with Albert Breer, who gave him a phone call when he saw that quote, saying, you can see how it's going in San Fran with that system and that culture that they've built. You added D'Amico, a CJ to that. I think that's the kind of culture you want. It's the kind of powerhouse that I think the Texans are going to be for a while. Now, you could argue that in saying that the Texans are going to be a powerhouse for a while, that Case Keenum could be licking the boot of the Texans and say, like, hey, wouldn't mind me as a backup quarterback for the next couple of years. I think we would all love to see Case Keenum end his career here with the Houston Texans, be the backup quarterback the next couple of years. When CJ Stroud gets hurt, they occasionally get the Coug
Houston legend to come in, huh? I would love that, honestly. It'd be a nice little sideshow.
I think most teams should do that. Just beloved quarterback from either the area or from the local school, and just like,
great call, Sean.
Hey, it sucks CJ Stroud's hurt. We could just be like, we have high hopes for Easton Stick or whatever, or we can be like, you know what, you guys love Case Keenum. Here's some Case Keenum. That every team should do that.
I agree. I'm trying to think of
Tim Tebow, Jacksonville backup quarterback.
Oh my God, that makes so much sense. Honestly, they'd probably be calling for Tebow over Trevor Lawrence right now too.
That's where it falls apart, is because you're volunteering for a quarterback controversy.
Is there a place that like Colin Kaepernick would be a fun backup? Like in
Vegas. He went to college in Nevada.
That's true. I mean, honestly,
San Francisco would also. I'm sure they would take him too.
Yeah.
All their guys get hurt. He's better Trey Lance.
That's true. And the memories with Kaepernick were good. Although that's where he started kneeling, right? When he got benched for like Blaine Gabbert.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But he did go to a Super Bowl.
That's true. He did. With Milwaukee, like Green Bay. He's a Milwaukee kid. Yeah. I don't know.
No, that's a Wisconsin quarterback. They need a Wisconsin below. Like they need a like
Russell Wilson's next stop. What?
I was gonna say Jim Sorgi.
Jim Sorgi. Well, he's
Joel
the Colts
Stave.
legend. Jim Sorgi's probably like 60 years old now, I think. Because that was a while ago that he was Peyton Manning's backup quarterback. Legendary alternative backups. Yeah, I want it to be Keenum going forward.
Oh, Cam Newton for
Carolina?
For Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
Just all-time backup quarterback.
Yeah, but the problem is he still thinks he can start.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, boy. You know what? If you want to make your own nominations for great backup quarterbacks, not based off of skill, but entirely based off of location. Tommy DeVito, New York. I mean, it does work.
Boom.
It does work.
He's the star of the NFL.
Right, which is insane. We have an update on Tommy DeVito today, but... it's not a good one. If you're an Italian, this was a big L that y'all took, but we'll talk about that later in the show. Nominees for that, you can. Are the Texans building a powerhouse? Do you trust the McNairs more than you trust Jim Crane? I know that sounds like I'm saying it tongue-in-cheek, and for the most part, I am. That said, does seem like there's a bit of, like it's up for grabs. Best owner in Houston major professional sports right now.
The 10-minute drill with Paul Gallant.
Football time.
In the last segment, towards the end, we were talking about how having Case Keenum as the Houston Texans backup going forward isn't necessarily the best idea for the Texans, but it sure is fun. But Sean, you thought of a much, much, much sexier name to be the Houston Texans all-time backup that'll get people to still show up, even if he's probably not in football shape.
Yes, you don't actually. No, he is in a football shape.
Well, not for quarterback. Let's be honest.
Case Keenum, your all-time Houston backup quarterback. Your all-time emergency third-string quarterback. Your season's over if this guy's playing. Vince Young.
Oh,
Just be
God.
a great right the wrongs of the 2006 NFL draft.
People would actually show up. You might win back. No lie. There's a lot of Houston area Titans fans. I think you would win back a pretty good percentage of them. We're not talking all, but I bet 2 to 5% by having Vince Young play a snap for the Houston Texans. Like, just take a knee, an honorary knee. Why not?
Yeah.
You could claim Vince Young as a Houston Texan.
Yeah, sell it at the team shop.
I mean, I'm sure there are people that were custom jerseys. Could you make them online, NFL.com, back in 2006?
Probably.
I bet you could have. Yeah. Oh, boy. Give me a battle red Vince Young jersey. Oh, my God. Just getting hot and bothered thinking about it. By the way, today's Christmas sweater is once again what I wore on Friday. It features our Lord and Savior along with Santa Claus. They're hanging out. Might be drinking some eggnog. Jesus turned water into wine. We're acting like he never drank. Come on.
Yeah. Was Jesus lactose intolerant? Probably not.
I don't know.
Because he's, the son of God. It'd be weird if
pretty embarrassing.
If he had allergies.
It'd be very embarrassing if he had allergies. Hey, there's something that Case Keenum once said that could protect him from Myles Garrett. Garrett's got 13 sacks. There was a reel of all the times he was getting held in Sunday's game for the Browns. None of those holds were called as the Browns improved to 9-5 still. But he's having a great year, and Kevin Stefanski's been trying to beat the drum of him to be the Defensive Player of the Year. Did you know that Case Keenum was a Browns quarterback in 2020 and 2021? Did you know that that means he was on the same team as Myles Garrett? Here's something that that Case Keenum said of Myles Garrett on the Manning cast. Shout out to Matt Young from the Houston Chronicle for getting this. Quote, "I'm hoping he remembers the deal I made with him in the hot tub." Whoa! Back in 2021. I said, "Hey, Myles, if I give you 2 sacks in the first quarter, you just don't rush for the rest of the game. Obviously, I don't know if I'll be playing or not yet, but we'll see if he remembers that deal." Now, that would be something. You give Myles Garrett a couple of sacks and make sure you don't fumble. Is it possible? I think Garrett would actually see it as an opportunity to potentially break the record for sacks in a game. But Case Keenum and Myles Garrett confirmed in a hot tub at some point in the past. And as every man knows, true deals get struck in the hot tub.
I didn't know that.
Well, now you do, Sean.
Wow.
Teaching you advice and lessons every single day. You know, what happens in a hot tub normally stays in a hot tub, so maybe Case Keenum's breaking the first rule of guys broing out in a hot tub, but he did talk with him in the hot tub, and maybe that bonding experience is going to mean Myles Garrett doesn't go 100% against Keenum. He goes like 95, 94. You know, maybe that helps.
Also, I like that Case Keenum, before now he's a Texan for life, but before this point in his career, he was like such a journeyman quarterback that he was having conversations with Myles Garrett about like, hey, when I'm on a different team next year, like, take it easy on me. Like this, that's how accustomed to the nomadic backup quarterback lifestyle he is.
And listen, if you're a wanderer, you keep on wandering. You're like the Hulk at the end of the show in the 1970s with Lou Ferrigno. They play this like sad little piano music and he walks on a highway. And he's holding his thumb up. Because hitchhiking used to be a thing, Sean.
Yeah. A lot of serial killers.
Not in my life, but before my life, the people hitchhiked.
Yes, and serial killers ruined it for us.
If you watch the movie Friday the 13th, there's hitchhiking that goes on at the beginning, and it's just like, yep, that happens. People are nice to each other. Not anymore.
No, they weren't. Those people got murdered.
They didn't all get murdered. Like some got murdered.
A lot of them got murdered.
I don't know if it was a lot. We'd have to look up the percentage. Percentage of hitchhikers hitchhike.
How many serial killers just picked up victims from hitchhiking?
I would say most, but like, what are the chances of you getting taken by a serial killer if you hitchhiked back in the day? Got to be less than 1% still.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think it's like today it's probably 50%. You're done.
Something's happening, dude.
Mm-hmm.